Listen closely, because after this, the version of you that's been holding you back is done. You've been walking around carrying an identity that no longer serves you, an identity built from old fears, old failures, and old excuses. You wear it like a second skin, but it's choking the life out of you. Today, we're hitting delete, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now, the old you is comfortable. It likes routine, even if that routine is misery. It fears change because change means uncertainty, and uncertainty means responsibility. But you know what? That old self is the prison guard keeping you in a cell made of your own potential. You've been given this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, and you're wasting it replaying stories that should have been erased years ago. You're not your mistakes. You're not your past. You're not the voice in your head that says, maybe you're not good enough. That voice is a liar and it dies today. Every great transformation starts with a funeral. Bury the identity that's chained to your fear. Bury the hesitation. Bury the excuses. And when you walk away from that grave, don't look back, because the version of you that's coming, the one who is disciplined, unshakable, relentless, that's who you were always meant to be. Stop negotiating with your weakness. Stop justifying your limitations. Start showing up as if your life depends on it, because it does. The old you is gone, the new you starts now, and the world won't be ready for what's coming. Your old identity is not who you truly are. It's a mask shaped by every fear you've ever felt, a mask molded by the weight of your failures, a mask painted with the excuses you've told yourself for years. It's heavy, but you've worn it so long that you've started to believe it's your real face. You've carried it into every room, every conversation, every opportunity. And without realizing it, that mask has been deciding your future for you. Your fears whisper that you're not ready. Your failures remind you of every time you fell short. Your excuses tell you that the timing isn't right, that maybe tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow never comes, and while you wait, your real self, the powerful, capable, unstoppable version of you, is trapped behind bars built from your own doubts. You weren't born with this old identity. You built it. Every time you let fear make your choice, another brick was laid. Every time you gave up after a failure, the walls got taller. Every time you made an excuse instead of taking action, the lock clicked tighter. It's why change feels so hard, because you're not just trying to change your habits. You're trying to dismantle an entire version of yourself. But here's the truth. That old identity is a lie. It's a story that served you once, maybe to protect you, maybe to keep you safe, but now it's a cage. And cages are not meant to be lived in. You've been carrying the weight of that false self for years, and it has drained you. It has kept you small. It has convinced you that comfort is safety, when in reality, comfort is slow destruction. Your old identity will fight for its life when you try to break free. It will try to pull you back with memories of pain, reminders of who you used to be, and doubts about who you can become. But you are not your fears. You are not your failures. You are not the excuses you've repeated in your head. You are something far greater, and it's time to prove it. Transformation must happen now, not someday, not when the stars align, not when you feel ready, and not when life gets easier. Because someday is a lie your mind tells you to keep you still. It's a comfortable word that sounds like hope, but acts like a thief. It steals your momentum. It steals your urgency. It steals the one thing you will never get back: time. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you plant yourself in the same soil that has kept you from growing for years. And tomorrow comes, but your actions don't. Because the truth is, there will never be a perfect day to begin. There will never be a moment where fear disappears. There will never be a time when you know exactly how everything will turn out. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll wait forever. Transformation is not about feeling ready. It's about deciding that now is the only time that matters. It's about acting before your mind talks you out of it. It's about choosing to move even when you don't have all the answers. You don't need permission from the world to change. You don't need every piece of the puzzle in place before you take the first step. You just need the courage to start where you are, because action creates clarity, movement creates momentum, and momentum changes everything. Every second you delay, the old you grows stronger. It gains another day of control. It tightens its grip on your habits, your thoughts, and your future. But the moment you act, truly act, you take that power back. Transformation is a battle that is won in the present moment, not in your future fantasies. If you want a different life, you have to stop saying later and start saying now, not after the weekend, not after the new year, not after you figure things out. Now, because now is all you will ever have, and the person you are meant to become is waiting on the other side of the decision you make in this moment. Comfort feels safe. It feels warm, familiar, and easy. It whispers to you that you've earned the right to rest, that you don't need to push, that everything is fine just the way it is. But comfort is the most dangerous prison you can live in. Because comfort doesn't just keep you still, it slowly pulls you backward. It keeps you living the same year over and over again, calling it a life. It convinces you that avoiding discomfort is the same as protecting yourself. But protection and stagnation are not the same thing. Growth lives on the other side of challenge. It lives where your muscles ache, where your mind struggles, where your heart races with uncertainty. It lives in the moments when you're not sure you can keep going, but you push anyway. Comfort will never let you get there. It will make excuses for why now isn't the right time. It will remind you of every time you've failed before. It will seduce you with ease and predictability, and in doing so, it will steal the fire from your spirit. The truth is, comfort kills ambition. It dulls your hunger. It robs you of the thrill of becoming more than you are today. And the scariest part, it does it so quietly that you don't even notice. One day turns into a week turns into a month turns into years of living inside the same safe circle, never daring to step beyond it. And all the while, the world moves forward without you. Your dreams don't disappear, but they grow dusty, buried under layers of maybe later. And it's fine the way it is. You start to believe that the life you have is the life you're meant for. But deep down, you know that's not true. You feel it every time you see someone chasing their goals. You feel it every time you lie awake at night wondering what could have been. Growth requires discomfort. It requires stepping into the unknown and choosing challenge over ease. It requires walking away from the trap of comfort before it quietly takes everything you could have been. Your past stories are not a life sentence. They are chapters, not the entire book. Yet so many people carry their old chapters like chains, believing that what happened yesterday must decide what happens tomorrow. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've failed more times than you can count. Maybe you've been hurt, betrayed, or knocked to the ground so hard that you wondered if you'd ever get up again. Those moments are real, but they are not the blueprint for the rest of your life. You are not the sum of your failures. You are not the worst thing you've ever done, nor the worst thing that's ever happened to you. The past is a place to learn from, not a place to live in. Every time you replay your old stories, you give them more power. You allow them to dictate your choices, your confidence, and your belief in what's possible. But the truth is, your future is blank. It's a page that hasn't been written yet, and you hold the pen. If you keep letting your past write your future, the ending will always look the same. You'll keep repeating the same cycles, living the same patterns, telling the same story over and over until it becomes all you know. But the moment you decide that your past has no authority over you, everything changes. You begin to see your mistakes as lessons instead of labels. You begin to see your pain as proof that you're strong enough to survive. You begin to realize that every single day is a chance to rewrite the narrative. The past can shape you, but it does not have to shackle you. What matters is the choice you make right now, not the choice you made 5 years ago, not the choice you made last month. Right now is the moment that decides the direction of your life. You can carry your past like a weight, or you can use it as fuel. You can stay trapped in the same old story, or you can turn the page and start a new one. The decision is yours, and it always has been. The negative inner voice is the most convincing liar you will ever meet. It sounds like you. It speaks in your tone, in your thoughts, in your mind. It pretends to be the voice of reason, but in reality, it's the voice of fear. It tells you you're not ready. It tells you you're not good enough. It reminds you of every failure, every embarrassment, every time you fell short. It takes those moments and stretches them into your identity. It whispers that you will fail again, so you might as well not try. It points out your flaws and calls them permanent. It magnifies your weaknesses and ignores your strengths. And because it speaks so often, you start to believe it. But here's the truth: that voice is lying to you. It's not here to protect you. It's here to keep you small. It wants you to stay where you are because change threatens its control. It thrives on your hesitation. It feeds on your self-doubt. It grows louder every time you give in to fear. You cannot negotiate with it. You cannot reason with it. You must silence it. That doesn't mean it will disappear overnight. It means you stop giving it the final word. When it tells you you can't, you answer with action. When it says you're not ready, you move forward anyway. When it screams you'll fail, you remind yourself that failure is proof you're trying. You weaken the voice every time you ignore its lies. You reclaim your power every time you act in spite of it. That inner critic will always try to speak, but you don't have to listen. You can choose which thoughts you give power to. You can choose to believe the voice that pushes you forward, not the one that holds you back. The negative inner voice is not the truth. It never was. It's just fear in disguise. And once you see it for what it is, you'll realize it's not as powerful as it sounds. The only way it wins is if you keep listening. True change begins by burying the old self, not by fixing it, not by slowly patching up the cracks, not by making tiny adjustments to something that was never built to carry you forward. The old self was created from habits that no longer serve you. It was shaped by fears you no longer want to live with. It was fueled by excuses that kept you comfortable but stagnant. And as long as you keep dragging it along with you, it will pull you back into the same patterns. You can't build a new life while wearing the skin of who you used to be. You can't step into a stronger version of yourself while clinging to the weaknesses you've outgrown. That's why true transformation feels like death at first. Because it is. It's the death of your old identity. It's the funeral for your excuses. It's the burial of every habit that kept you small. And like any burial, it's not easy. It's hard to let go of something you've carried for so long, even if it's been holding you back. You've worn this version of yourself for years. It's familiar, and familiarity can feel like safety. But safety is not the same as growth. The old self has to go so the new self can breathe. When you bury the old self, you leave behind the comfort that was secretly destroying you. You walk away from the limits you once believed were unbreakable. And in that empty space, you give birth to someone different, someone disciplined, resilient, and unstoppable. This process doesn't happen halfway. You can't keep one foot in the past and expect to move fully into your future. You have to commit to the burial. You have to close the door and lock it behind you. And when the old self knocks, you do not answer. True change demands that you make peace with letting go. It demands that you step into the unknown without dragging yesterday with you, because only when the old self is gone can the real you finally rise. Once you let go, never look back, because the moment you turn your head toward the past, you give it permission to pull you in again. The past has a way of calling your name, reminding you of what was, tempting you with familiarity. But familiarity is not progress. It's a trap dressed as comfort. You let go for a reason. You walked away because you knew staying would cost you more than leaving ever could. You decided that your future was worth more than the pain of your past. And yet, the mind loves to revisit old wounds, to replay old memories, to wonder what if. But every time you look back, you slow your steps forward. You drain your energy trying to change what can't be changed. You waste the power you could be using to build the life you want on reliving the one you left behind. Letting go is not just about walking away. It's about refusing to turn around. It's about burning the bridge so you can't cross back, even on your weakest days. It's about choosing to focus on what's ahead, even when the road feels uncertain. The past will try to make you forget why you left. It will highlight the good moments and hide the pain that came with them. It will paint illusions to make you believe you've lost something worth returning to. But you didn't lose anything, you gained freedom, and freedom has no use for backward steps. When you let go, you make space for something new. When you never look back, you give that new the chance to grow without interference. Forward is where the transformation happens. Forward is where the new self lives. Forward is where the life you've been dreaming about finally takes shape. So keep your eyes ahead. Keep your focus locked on what you're building, not what you've buried. Because the moment you look back, the past will see the crack in your armor and try to pull you in again. And you've come too far to return to what you fought so hard to leave. Adopt discipline, resilience, and relentlessness, because without them, your goals are nothing more than wishes. Discipline is the structure that carries you when motivation fades. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's waking up when the alarm rings instead of hitting snooze. It's showing up for the work even when you're tired, distracted, or uninspired. Discipline doesn't ask if you're in the mood, it commands action. Resilience is the strength to stand back up after life knocks you down. It's the refusal to let setbacks define you. It's taking the hit, feeling the pain, and moving forward anyway. Because life will test you. It will challenge your patience, your faith, and your endurance. Resilience is the armor that keeps you in the fight when everything else tells you to quit. Relentlessness is the fire that never goes out. It's the hunger to keep pushing, even when the goal feels far away. It's refusing to settle for good enough. It's chasing excellence with a level of commitment that makes others uncomfortable. Relentlessness doesn't stop for obstacles. It doesn't pause for permission. It moves forward with an unshakable belief that the finish line is worth the struggle. When you combine discipline, resilience, and relentlessness, you become unstoppable. You become the person who doesn't just set goals, you achieve them. You become the person who keeps going long after others have quit. These qualities are not given to you. They are forged through repetition, through struggle, through choosing the hard path over the easy one. You build discipline every time you follow through on a commitment. You build resilience every time you rise from a setback. You build relentlessness every time you refuse to stop, no matter how slow the progress feels. This is how transformation happens, not through luck, not through chance, but through a decision to live with discipline, to fight with resilience, and to chase with relentlessness until the life you want is yours. Stop making deals with your weaknesses. Every time you compromise with them, you give them more power. Every time you say just this once, you invite them to stay longer. Weakness will always try to negotiate with you. It will promise you comfort. It will tell you that skipping today won't matter. It will whisper that you've worked hard enough and deserve to take it easy. And at first, it sounds reasonable, because weakness doesn't show up as a threat, it shows up as relief. But that relief comes with a cost. One skipped step becomes two. Two skipped steps become a habit. And before you realize it, you're back at the starting line, wondering where all your progress went. You cannot trade long-term growth for short-term comfort and expect to win. Weakness is patient. It will wait for the moments you're tired, frustrated, or doubtful. It will creep in when you're vulnerable and offer you the easy way out. But the easy way always takes you further from who you want to become. Stop listening to it. Stop reasoning with it. Weakness doesn't deserve a seat at the table. It doesn't get a voice in your decisions. You don't bargain with it, you shut the door on it completely. You choose the action that aligns with your goals, not the one that makes you feel better in the moment. You hold yourself to the standard you committed to, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable. Because every time you reject weakness, you strengthen your willpower. Every time you choose the hard thing over the easy thing, you prove to yourself that you're in control. Discipline grows when you stop entertaining the lies that weakness tells. Progress accelerates when you refuse to bend your rules. The life you want will never be built on excuses and half-efforts. It will only be built by a version of you that does not negotiate with the very thing holding you back. So close the deal with your future and end the deal with your weakness for good. Act as if your life depends on change, because it does. Because the truth is, staying the same isn't just keeping you stuck. It's slowly killing your potential. Every day you delay the change you know you need to make, a part of you starts to fade. Your dreams grow quieter. Your confidence gets weaker. Your energy begins to drain. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens in small, unnoticeable ways until one day you wake up and realize years have passed and nothing is different. Change is not optional if you want a better life. It is survival. It is the difference between living fully and simply existing. You cannot wait for a perfect moment to begin. You cannot wait for fear to leave. You cannot wait for someone else to push you forward. You have to move now, as if there is no backup plan, because in reality there isn't one. You don't get unlimited chances. You don't get endless time. Every choice you make is building your future or destroying it. When you act as if your life depends on change, you stop making excuses. You stop letting comfort dictate your pace. You stop giving power to distractions, laziness, and doubt. You start treating every decision like it matters because it does. You start showing up with intensity, with urgency, with full commitment. You attack your goals like your survival depends on reaching them, because in a way it does. The life you've always wanted is on the other side of that change. The person you are meant to be is waiting for you to cross that line, but you won't get there by moving casually. You won't get there by treating change as an option you'll get to later. You will only get there by deciding that right now, in this very moment, everything is on the line. Your future, your happiness, your purpose, so act accordingly. Because if you don't, the life you could have lived will slip away, and once it's gone, you can't get it back.